On today's video, we're going to go through a microscopic inspection of corners, edges, and surfaces of cards so that we can decide what to keep raw and what to grade. I hope you guys enjoy the show.
Welcome back, everyone, and yeah, I guess I am back. So today I am doing another inspection video, mainly because Teapot's video inspired a lot of people to message me and get my opinion, which I'm flattered about. My answer is probably not what people expected. Not surprised by any of it. I've been talking about this for a long time, that every company has its own subjective guidelines, including TAG. Everybody thinks AI is objective, but it's not. They mistaken transparency for literacy and accuracy, right? So what I mean by that is TAG is subjective and it's encoded into their software already. Like some person made the rules and it's already encoded in there. It's subjectivity based. It's just repeatable to a point. But once again, once a hand lays on it and it goes to another machine, unless it's laying the same exact angle, like, you know, and position, it can't repeat it. That's why I have their coordinates, but we'll get to that later. But ultimately, every company is the best at grading according to their own criteria. I don't know why everyone thinks there's a universal grading system. I've talked about this forever. There's no like universal grading calibration. There's no like all the grading companies do one meeting a year and talk about grading guidelines. There's none of that. Like it even states it on the websites. That's why it's so surprising to me where it's like, oh, my CSG, it got a 10, but when I crossed it over PSA, they gave it a 9. Well, yeah, because it's a 9 according to PSA guidelines. And once again, the problem with PSA is there's a 9 and 10. There's no Mint Plus. Only CGC and SGC actually have Mint Pluses. Beckett has a 9.5, then the Pristine, and then the Black Label, of course. But even Beckett Gem Mints are really more Mint Plus, in my opinion. Not saying it's fact. It's still gem according to Beckett standards, which is what matters because that's who you're paying. You're not paying me for my opinion on other people's slabs. But we're going to take a look at a bunch of these. We're going to inspect cards that are in slab right now. We're going to look at Beckett 9.5s. We're going to look at PSA 10s. We're going to look at CGC 10s. We're going to look at SGC 10s. I think there's a tag card here as well. And a lot of these are sent to me and we didn't crack them. Because as much as everyone hates it, the reality is most people send me slabs from other companies because they want to cross to PSA 10, not because they're chasing more accuracy, it's because they are chasing the higher dollar value. And that's the reality of it. Not every single person, but the majority of it. Very few people are like, man, I'm interested in the true grade. It's just what it is. Like, and that's fine. Like, it doesn't matter. That's why it's like so weird to me that we can't just all coexist. Everybody wants one company to be the dominant force. That's not PSA. Like everybody wants their tag slabs to be worth more because that's what they want. They want it to be worth more. They think tag can do something about it. Tag doesn't do anything about it. You're the one that decides how much you want to pay and change the market. You're not willing to pay more for tag slabs, minus a couple Pokemon. It's really funny to me too. Like there's like maybe 3 out of 1,000 sales where tag outsells a PSA slab and it's the biggest deal in the world. But once again, you ignore the 997 other slabs where that's not the case, and that's the momentum swing that people want, but it's not what it is. Like there's anomalies. There's people that pay more for BGS slabs. BGS 10s still are premium, but nobody talks about it because nobody's confident their cards are really that perfect, despite what they say on camera. This card's super clean. This card, there's not a flaw in it. Well, yeah, why'd you send it to PSA then? Because Beckett 10s, last I checked, still command a premium. Anyways. Neither here nor there, and I don't want to get into a rant. So we're going to take a look at everything right now. We're going to turn this thing around. We're going to look at some slabs. See what you think. Questions, once again, continue to message me at frostyfeetcards@gmail.com. But let's have some fun. All right, so we're going to start off with the tag slab. It's the only one I have. I have 2 SGC, 2 CGC, 2 BGS, and 2 PSAs. First one is the tag. We'll just start there. 93 tops Jeter. This one got a Mint 9 from tag. If you want to pause the screen, you're welcome to, but there is the serial number. If you want to take a look at the dig report, I'm not going to look at it. We're just going to find out together why this got a 9. And this is based on tags guidelines. This is not universal. But if we look at the first corner, it has really good shape. The issue really more is a little bit of edge wear right there on the left edge. You can kind of see a slight chip. Not the end of the world. We're going to get back to the surface, but we're really looking along the edges. You have more chipping right there. Finger. Right there, slight chipping going in. The rest of the top edge here, pretty clean so far. Right corner, slight fray. You can see the extra fiber sticking out. That is a dark gray, so it is understock as opposed to extra fiber sticking out on the side. So that would be a little bit of a corner issue. We also have a big chip you can see right there, right along the bracket. You can see that chunk missing. So right edge chipping, you have little micro ones as well. I wouldn't call them too little, but they are present. You can see the difference in card stock, and that's the urban legend. If you think you have white card stock, you can't see anything. All it really takes is a little bit of effort and some tools that will show you a completely different world. Coming down, the rest of the right edge is not bad. I would say it is mint edge for most companies. Bottom right corner, you can also see excess fibers, fraying. Corner's not perfectly sharp. You can see where the gloss disappears and where it starts to turn dark. That is the under card stock as well. Bottom edge, I'd say slight chipping right there as well. Right there. More chipping, more chipping. And bottom right corner, you can see clear as day. It's got good shape, but it's composed of fibers as opposed to the actual gloss of the stock. So essentially you have 4 corners here. Well, I would say 3 corners that have obviously been damaged throughout its life somehow. But left side, plenty of chipping as well. So we have edges and we have corner issues. Now we're going to go to the surface. You can see there's black print dots right here. 1, 2. And one of those things, tags dig report may or may not pick it up. If it is, it's usually added by a human, just because with photometric stereoscopic imaging, it cannot pick up print defects unless it actually creates a divot in the surface or impurity or something that's on top. It's really designed to identify flaws that are on top or in a surface as opposed to on a surface, if that makes any sense. Coming down, not too bad. We do see a, let's see, keep going here. Thought I saw something, but I didn't. You can see a slight yellowing, just a tiny pit right there on his glove. Print defect, yellow. You can also see a yellow there. Another yellow dot right there as well. Print defect. Another print defect. You can see the yellow. This stuff here, the scuffs, they are not on the card. They're on the surface of the slab. You can tell by the shadow it creates. So just a couple print defects, maybe 4, as far as within the card itself. Not counting borders, we have 2 more on the bottom right corner. So there's roughly 4 print defects on the borders itself. There's 3 itself on the surface of the card, the main surface. 1, 2, and we also had a 3rd right there as well, right above the diamond. And I believe we had 4 here. So we have 4 print defects on this particular card. This is just based on what we could see. Backside, corner's good, but you see the chip right next to it on the right side of the top edge. More chipping along the top edge, minimal, but present. Right side, beautiful corner. You can see to the left though, slight chipping, sticking up. The piece of fiber is about to actually fall off. Clean right. The edge actually looks really good on the right side. Back bottom corner actually looks really good as well. Nice and sharp, you can see. Gloss goes all the way to the tip. Micro fraying on the edges on the bottom, but that's really the extension of the edge as opposed to actual edge damage. This last corner you can see, it's composed of fibers. Once again, the shape itself, you can see the gloss difference. Looks like a slightly flipped up corner as opposed to true paper loss, but it's still damaged nonetheless. Surface on the back side. And this is through a slab, so we're just going to see what we can. And it looks pretty good. So overall, you have basically 5 or 6 corners that have some issues, along with plenty of edge wear on this particular card. Also a small amount of print defects, roughly 7 or 8 if you count the front total. 4 on the borders and 4 on the main surface of the card. And that is how it grades a 9 per tag grading guidelines. How would it grade with SGC? Probably similar. How would it grade with Beckett? Probably similar. How would it grade with PSA? It would be a maximum 9, but there is an opportunity for an 8 as well, just because the way that PSA weighs on corner damage. Next one here, SGC 10. This is a Magic Johnson Sunburst. This is Kevin's card. Gem at 10. So let's take a look. This is why we sent this one to SGC. We'll see what we can find. You can see that corner. Clear crimp. And that is not SGC missing anything. This is just our experience with the data collected that based on their grading history and guidelines that we've had. Sometimes you can get away with that kind of stuff. Like I said, I don't think it's a leniency thing. I think it's either a miss or it's just part of their grading guidelines. You can sometimes sneak away with stuff just because of eye appeal, but there you can clearly see it's a crimped, bent corner. But we have ourselves a gem mint card, and this is why we sent this off to SGC after assessing it raw, because SGC does give you the best opportunities for certain grades based on the type of issues that we find. Back corner, same. This one's pretty nice. Small touch of wear at the tip though. You can see by the light discoloration. Edges are beautiful. Right side, that corner looks really nice as well. This edge looks pretty good until you get there. You got a nice chip. Clear as day, it's white. Understock, contrast with the purple. Left side, also a little bit more chipping along the edge on both the left and the top. Technically the bottom since the card's upside down. And a little bit more chipping. And this is an SGC 10. Next we have another SGC 10. This is SGC 10. Jordan, LeBron 10. This is my card. I sent this to SGC as well, just due to a couple corner issues I can recall. But you see right there, got a nice corner. It doesn't look perfectly sharp, but it's more factory cut than damaged just because you don't see the understock showing. Clean right edge. I believe this is one of the corners. This corner does have paper loss. You can see the gray going into the white. So the top gloss is gone and you have the understock. Continuing on down, right edge looks really good. See, there's really no chipping on the edge itself. Then you see bottom corner here also nice touch of white as well. Bottom edge clean, and bottom right corner, or bottom left corner I should say, it's upside down once again. Very clean looking card. So we have two corners on the front itself that has verifiable paper loss that we're still able to get 10s on. And this is not a knock to SGC, this is just how they grade cards based on their criteria. Eye appeal is fantastic for the card itself. We'll look at the back. See, once again, it's a good corner based on the round cut, but not due to damage. And you could easily tell the difference if you looked at enough cards. I think it's one of those things that ultimately it's still an opinion. Right side corner looks really good. Gloss is all there. No paper loss. Edge, very clean. Get down here, still very clean. The infamous hair on every slab. Bottom corner also looks good. The stock itself is clean. The excess hairs you see are the excess of the card, and you can see the chipping here. You can see how much white there actually is on this. The damage on the card is pretty significant. And then you got the bottom right corner. Little tiny touch of wear there. So overall, you can see the amount of damage on this edge, and we still got ourselves an SGC 10. And that's kind of what we go by. If you've done this enough, you kind of get an idea of some of the criteria that you might be able to still gem your cards on. But, you know, if you don't have the data, you're kind of guessing. Next is the CSG 95 members only MJ. This one's got a gem mint. And this one we kept in slab. We didn't crack because, number one, you got that corner. Touch of white. Second corner looks really good. There's no stock loss by any means. The edge itself looks beautiful. Bottom right corner, you can see more paper loss. Another touch on the corner itself, missing the blue. You can clearly see the indentation slash divot right there into the edge. There's multiple, 1, 2, 3, 4, which bleeds into the surface. And then the last corner here, this is round. You can clearly see the white understock. You can see that it's not perfectly round, so I would say that's actual damage as opposed to a factory cut. So that's the corners, just the foundation alone on this. Surface-wise, we're not going to be able to see much just because it is in the slab as well. But we're going to take a look anyway. For print defects, etc., if we can spot any of those, you can see a huge chunk missing from the edge over here. It's clear as day, it's white, missing all the pixels. surface, I wouldn't be able to tell you a whole lot, but maybe just right here, you got a little tiny print defect of red right there. Backside, corner, touch of white once again. There's a huge difference between corner wear and not corner wear just from looking at it, and you can tell right there it's the stock that's no longer there. Right corner, same. You can see the fraying. You can see the corner itself is kind of chipped away, the rounding, and not factory cut. And the right corner here, bottom, you can see once again the fibers. And the last corner here on the bottom, also a touch of white. So you have basically 4 corners all in the back have touches white. 2 on the front have white, and CSG, I should say, at the time, has a gem mint. Next one here, once again, CSG. This is a black label. MJ got a gem mint 10. This is from the Hoops, 1990-91. You can see very nice corner. You can see a little bit of edge indentation right there, but it's so minor you really can't notice it. It's just something you see under the scope and take data of. You do see the chipping right here on the top edge itself. You can see the chunk right there missing from the top stock. You can see a lot of chipping along the edge right there. As I move along, there's just quite a bit, and it's undeniable. Then we go down to the right side. You can also see corner has a lot of the surface missing as well as far as the top stock. Right edge looks pretty good. We get to the bottom. You get yourself another beautiful corner. There's really no issues on this side. Micro chipping on the left side, but as far as the top edge goes, it's very, well, bottom edge, it's very, very clean. And then we have the bottom right corner, which actually looks phenomenal as well. You can see it's nice and sharp. It's not composed of fibers creating the shape. Surface itself, once again, hard to tell, but you can just tell from corners and edges. And you have a chunk missing right there on the surface. See that right there? It's not anything, it's on the slab, it's in the card. There's no reflection, that's how it tells you. That creates a shadow, so that is on the slab, not on the card. Which is another perfect example as far as crossing over cards in slab. If you request a 10, they have to undoubtedly be able to tell you it's a 10, otherwise they're not going to crack it and they're going to take your money, not because they're biased, not because there's this ego involved that the urban legends portray, but simply because you cannot give a card a 10 if you do not have the ability to see all of its issues cleanly. Because once you crack it, you have to give it a 10, and they're not going to do that. Backside, first corner, very nice shape, yellow all the way through. Top edge, very clean on the back. Right corner, you can see it's a combination. It's got decent yellow all the way close to the tip, but there is some light chipping over there as well. Very minimal, but present. Hold on, sweet girl. Oh, almost. Very close. Turn on the heat. Turn on the heat. You're good. Bottom right corner, you can see also minor fraying. You can see the shape itself. Not too bad though. It's really not something that's going to be penalized. It's just more of an aesthetic thing. You do see the chipping on the edge itself. If you don't, this is white as opposed to yellow. I'll see if this helps. Let me turn this up so you can see something. Alright, so you can see the glowing. I think you can. I'm looking at it from a 55-inch screen. But you can see all the little chipping along the edge. And it's just a simple... This is a high lumen black light though. It's not something that's like the cheap ones on Amazon. And you can see right where the bracket is, there's quite a bit of chunk missing right there. It glows pretty bright. And then also along the edge right there. So I would tell you there's plenty of edge wear on this particular card. Surface chunk missing as well. And you also have multiple corners that do have wear. CGC 10. Up next is the Mike Trout. That's on the thumbnail I think I put. This is the 9.5 from Beckett. And it has 9 centering. Everything else is gem mint. But thank you, Scott. Scott sent me this, and we did not crack this because you want to make sure that you at least have the best opportunity. And let me go ahead and refocus. It's a thicker slab, so I want to make sure we have the best view. Yeah, sweet girl? I'll put on something real quick. Okay, you gotta wait real quick. I'm almost done. Alright, so refocus real quick. Corner looks pretty good there. That corner looks good as well. And a lot of the BGS, we want to make sure that we just have the foundation at least, because you don't want to just blindly crack stuff based on subgrades. It's purely subjective. Front side, you can see that corner's got a slight round to it, and you can see a little bit of tip, like on the tip, a slight darkness. Tells me there's potential paper loss right there. And BGS slabs are the hardest because they have a non-clear slab and then a non-clear sleeve on top of everything. So you just want to be as sure as you can. You can see the edges look pretty good too. I mean, there's the 9.5 subgrades, but you don't want to take that into consideration as something that's just for granted. You see a little chip right there as well. Right corner looks pretty good. Going down, we have light chipping on the edges. Nothing major as far as that goes. In this corner right here, once again, you can see the extra fiber sticking out, but it's also slightly rounded when you compare it to the rest of the other corners. And then on this side, you can see that corner has wear. It's not straight, clearly curving in a roundness type of way, but you also see the dark layer underneath. So dark layer is typically the understock. So that is why this card stayed in the slab instead of being cracked out and sent to Beckett. There's a better view for you guys. So gem mint. Next one. 87 tops. Barry Bonds. Gem mint 9.5. Surface being the issue. This is actually my card. I sent it to BGS because I did not feel it would grade well with PSA. Corners look really good. You see that right there. Corner beautiful on this card as well. There's no chipping as far as the edges go that I caught the first time when I sent it. It's been a while since I looked at this card outside of the slab though, because I'm not going to crack it at this point. Beautiful once again, very nice corner. Edge looks clean. And corner looks fantastic. So really sharp card as far as things go. The issue on this card, why I sent it to Beckett, was a surface indentation. Say right down here by his leg. You can see a hint of it right here. Beckett slab makes it a little bit harder to see, but you can see it's in the card right there. This is not on the slab, this is in the card. And there's an eye appeal factor that really nobody talks about. When it's such a clean design, everything is really simple to see. You can see it without the scope. It's kind of an eyesore. I sent it in to BGS once again just to make sure that I could get the best opportunity for a gem mint designation based on their guidelines. You can see the backside too. Very nice corners. Edges itself, really nice. You just have excess fiber sticking out the edge. It doesn't bleed into the actual cardstock itself. They probably didn't like it as far as how they didn't want it. It's not as clean as they would like to give it a 10, but you can see it's a very clean edge, clean corner, same stuff. So beautiful card, slightly different than the Trout as far as some of the components of it, but overall same grade. Gem mint 9.5. They're not created equally, but they have the same thing. Next one here, we'll take a look. PSA 10. Once again, my card, Skybox Impact, Tom Brady. And we'll take a look. Beautiful corner on the top left. Very nice edge on the top right. Corner itself, slight roundness, but you can see the blue goes all the way to the tip. That's more of a factory cut than an actual damage defect type thing. Going down the right edge also looks really good. You have the excess fibers on the exterior of the card as opposed to on the interior chipping away. So very nice edge. Bottom right corner looks really good. Same with the bottom edge all the way through. This corner, once again, it's a matter of interpretation. You can see it is clean going straight up. It does angle slightly in, but when you look at the gloss itself, it never breaks. So you can clearly see the difference between the extended fibers as opposed to the high gloss on the card. So gem mint 10 front, because corners are typically one of the most critical things for PSA. Go to the back. You can see, once again, nice corner. Edges are not perfectly smooth, but there's no breaks in the actual UV ink. This corner, you can see smallest touch of white bleeds in. You can see the difference. It doesn't really shine at the tip, so it's more matte than it is glossy. It just hides well. You can see it clear as day though. It's close enough, right? Coming down, you can see some edge wear on the backside right here. Along, you can see the white. And if you can't, once again, I'll show you guys. There you go. You can see the monstrosity of chips right there. Continuing on. There we go. And bottom corner here, you can clearly see that there is some corner wear. The shape itself is nice, but it's just really composed by the fibers itself. This is one of those cards that if I cracked it and set back to PSA, there's a very good chance you get a 9. It is really more of a mint plus card, as I always talk about. The problem with PSA is that you get a 9 or a 10, and it's going to fall in between, so it's going to land on one or the other. You can see another chip right there as well on the Brady there. This is a Gem Mint 10. It's not something I'm going to crack just to find out if I can get a 9, and that's why there's bias in the hobby. Like, you know, it's just what it is. Then we have ourselves a 96 Fleer Michael Jordan, Gem Mint 10 as well. My card once again. I actually bought this raw. But you can see beautiful corners and edges. Dark edges, so very easy to see any types of issues. They stick out too pretty well if you're looking at eye peel factor as well. Corner is actually very clean. You see the extended fiber. It's also on the back side. It doesn't break the gloss either, so that's not technically actually corner damage. And this side also very nice corner. Backside, once again, you can see the pixels go all the way to the finish. It is a clean corner, nice clean top edge. This is external fiber we just rubbed off the case. Very nice top edge as well. Right corner, also very, very clean. Coming down, clean top edge, or right edge I should say. Coming down, corner, you cannot argue it's a beautiful corner. I mean, it's just what it is. A couple slight issues on the surface on the backside. You see a pin needle type of indent. Very small right along the edge, which is actually very favorable if you're inspecting without the scope. And that back corner, once again, you can see the gloss goes all the way. It's a nice 90-degree angle. You have excess fiber sticking out the backside. Some people like to pull it off. There's no reason to, just because you can clearly see the difference between the gloss and where the fiber is, and they don't really contrast with each other. So Gem Mint 10 once again, but you can see, I mean, it's ultimately a clean card. Either way, every company I showed you just now except Tag, is I don't have a Tag 10 in front of me. That's their Gem Mint standards. That's pretty repeatable. This is a small sample size, but realistically speaking, you guys have seen I've had probably over 200, I think like 220 videos at this point with grade reveals, and it's pretty consistent across the board. We are very rarely surprised by any of the grades with any of the companies, just because I've been lucky enough to have my customers that I always thank them, because without those guys, I don't have these opportunities to help educate myself over and over with different grading criteria of different companies. But this is why I'm not really surprised with the whole teapot experiment. You know, nobody talks about he shipped it out 9 different times and went through the process 9 different times with 9 companies from start to finish. That's a lot of hands on a card. Not to say anything could have happened or didn't happen, but subjectivity, that's one of those things where only thing you can do is control what you see and ideally be in line with the grading guidelines. So I think it's more important to understand grading guidelines as opposed to just think who's out trying to get you, because nobody is. You're paying them. But anyways, I appreciate you guys. Any questions, feel free to email me at frostyfeetcards@gmail.com. We should have more reveals for you guys soon. Hope you enjoyed this, and I will catch you later.
Gold prism cars shining like the sun on the bay. Tom Brady's legendary, ain't no dirt in the play. Rarefied Calvin stacking to the sky. Wendy blue velocity, watch those imperfections fly. We got the bass thumping, it's a vibe.